The 2023 Two Sessions meetings are underway in Beijing. Now, this is the biggest annual event on China's political calendar. The country's leader, Xi Jinping, announced China would increase its military spending by more than 7% amid increased tensions with Washington over Taiwan. And the country's outgoing prime minister set a target of 5% GDP growth this year. So CBS News senior foreign correspondent Elizabeth Palmer is following this for us from Tokyo. So Elizabeth, a lot of people here are gonna listen to those numbers, GDP, blah blah blah. It doesn't mean that much if you're living here in the U.S. But it's giving us a little indication, possibly, into the health of the economy in China. This GDP, I guess, forecast is actually lower than others had anticipated.
It is indeed. China's government really needs to reestablish its credibility. On the one hand, the zero COVID policy, which ended so abruptly and badly, has damaged people's faith in the party to some extent, and they need to shore it up again. And the other thing that happened was last year they projected 5% growth and only delivered 3%. So I think what we're watching here is the party leadership under-promising and hoping to over-deliver. 5%, most analysts think they'll reach that very comfortably. It will shore up their standing in the country, they hope. And they have, it should be noted, expressed a very ambitious jobs target. They need to create a lot of jobs. They had very high youth unemployment during COVID. It's still around 17%. And they've said they're going to try and create 12 million jobs next year. That's no mean feat. But it's probably necessary for stability. So this is a not overly ambitious, but nevertheless sort of solid projection for what it hopes is a return to health, to economic growth, to stability.
And it sounds like we're hearing a little bit of a refrain that we've been hearing from politicians here in the U.S. about self-reliance. Here, it's a reaction to all the supply chain issues that happened over the pandemic. But Xi Jinping is also talking about increased self-reliance. What is he talking about?
Well, at the top of the list would be technology, and particularly semiconductors. He's been spooked. He's been really rattled by President Biden's applying sanctions on very high-end chip technology and brains helping China. He wants to have a tech sector. He needs, if he's going to be a great global power, a tech sector. And he doesn't want to be hostage to Western powers. So he is really saying we're going to develop our own, and right now we're behind, but we are going to be as good or better than you, and you is the United States. The other way that he wants to build self-reliance is in food. He's watched inflation globally put some uncertainty into the food supply chain, and he can't afford that. The state is responsible for feeding a lot of people in China. And so that's really all about him wanting to insulate Chinese from price shocks, from inflation, things like that in the food sector.
Interesting. Elizabeth Palmer, thank you very much.